Great. So in like your shin bone, and then Jyutsu, Jyutsu. And it translates as the art of the creator through compassionate man. So it's simply the art of living, the art of harmonizing the body. And Jinshin Jyutsu was rediscovered by a gentleman named Jiro Murai in Japan in the early 1900s, and his student Mary Burmeister brought it to the United States in the 1960s. And so one of the things that Mary Burmeister did for us is she created 3 self-help books, and studied these 3 self-help books. But Mary Burmeister was an incredible genius in adapting her lifetime study into simple ways that we can all help ourselves through self-care or through self-help. And one of the things that I always love to introduce is the hand, the power that's available to us in our hands, our palms, our fingers, and our fingertips. And Mary came up with this great acronym, get rid of worry fast. So if you can remember worry fast, you'll have a quick way to reference which attitude is associated with which finger. So Mary taught that we have 5 primary attitudes that disharmonize the body. And by holding a finger, we can help to dissolve all of those attitudes, the sensation of the emotions of the attitudes that we feel and experience in our bodies. So if we begin with the thumb on either hand, the thumb is the worry and worry fast. And then we just go through the index, middle, ring, and little finger. So the index finger helps to dissolve fear or anxiety. The middle finger, the A in fast, helps anger, frustration, even indecision. The ring finger, the S in fast, helps sadness and grief. And the little finger we call the trying tos, or the trying to pretense, or pretending, trying too hard. Sometimes we say that's like when we're smiling on the outside, but really on the inside we're crying. And so we're pretending to be something that we aren't. Or sometimes we're just burning our candle at both ends, working so hard, so much efforting, that there's this part of us, we kind of forget who we are and all the doing of things. So I'd like to just speak about each of the attitudes and each of the fingers and a few things that each of our fingers helps. So when we begin with the thumb helps to dissolve the attitude of worry. So you can hold either thumb, and again, generally anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes time, that attitude or feeling will begin to harmonize, and that tension you're experiencing will begin to dissolve. So in the thumb, it helps the functioning of 2 of our major organs, our stomach function energy and our spleen function energy. So the stomach, as we know, it helps our digestion. It helps to digest our thoughts, it helps to digest our food, and it helps the digestion of everything in the body, assimilation of any kind. So anytime that we have a terrible stomach ache or nausea, we feel abdominal bloating, we can hold either thumb. I was one of those kids growing up that always suffered from chronic stomach discomfort, to the point where we went to specialists, the gastroenterologist. We ran all kinds of tests and blood labs, and you know, when the doctors don't discover anything, they just say, well, she'll grow out of it. And I wish I knew then what I know now. And all I had to do was simply hold either thumb, and I could begin to feel that tension melt away. When I was pregnant with my son, I had terrible morning sickness. And I don't know why they call it morning sickness, because for me, it was all day, every day. And I would go around holding both of my thumbs at the same time. And believe it or not, I never one time throughout my whole 9 months of pregnancy threw up. I felt like it plenty of times, but I never did get sick. And that was because I continuously held my thumbs. And it was such a powerful experience in helping to dissolve that feeling of nausea. The thumb also helps our spleen function energy. And if you've ever had any sort of illness of any kind, any sort of major, Mary would call things that we were working with illness, infection, joint dysfunction, you know, anything that we were working with in the body that was causing us pain, tension, or disharmony, she would call that a project. So we can look into projects with fun. But when we have something that we've been diagnosed with, she would call that a label, so that we can work with our projects and labels without taking them on in our body. And that's very much the philosophy of Gilda's Club. You know, while many people have cancer, this is a cancer support community, we like to refer in Jyutsu to cancer as a label. So we don't have to identify with that label as a part of who we are, because we all know we're all so much more than our disharmonies, our diseases, our projects, and our labels. We're human beings. And when we come back to holding the hands, we begin to feel what it is to be human again, to be ourselves again. And so the spleen is so powerful for the functioning of our immune system. So anytime that you have had anything going on in the body, you know how important the spleen is to our overall well-being. We don't do very well without a harmonized spleen. And the spleen is so powerful, it's like a solar panel, and it delivers the sunlight to all of the organs in the body. And the spleen is very nourishing for the entire body. It helps the central nervous system and the immune system. So we call the thumb the leader of the parade. So even if we don't have time to hold all of the other fingers, or we can't remember, get rid of worry fast, or what helps what, know that anytime you hold either thumb, you help all of the fingers to come back into harmony, because it's the leader of the parade. Now, each of our fingers also helps a layer of tissue in the body. In the case of the thumb helps our skin surface. So if you have any project with the skin surface, know that you can hold either thumb. So it's always interesting to me, because babies naturally suck their thumbs. They do that so that they're less colicky, less bloated, so that they have less discomfort. And we all have this innate intelligence, and sometimes we're drawn to different fingers or different areas of the body because the body needs the support. You know, we don't have to think, what makes my lungs breathe? Or what makes the heart beat? What makes digestion possible? The body naturally does that. So when we can bring our conscious awareness to these intelligences that live in our body already, we can have a really powerful and transformative experience. So in the index finger, it helps fear or anxiety. Fear is at the root of all of the other attitudes. So fear is so prevalent that it disharmonizes everything else in the body. So as you'll begin to see, we can make a case to hold any of the fingers all the time. But the index finger in particular, it helps to return us back to a place of flow, flowing lovingly, openly, willingly. It gets us out of our stucks when we feel like we're stuck and limited, and we're stuck in all the things that we lack. It helps to bring us back into flow and dissolve those feelings of fear and anxiety. So the index finger helps the bladder and the kidney function energy. So our body's organs of elimination to help detoxify and unload and janitorize the body. So this index finger is a really deep cleaner. So anytime we're on lots of heavy medication or undergoing treatment programs, chemotherapy, radiation, supporting this index finger helps your body to receive the benefit of the treatment, and it helps it to unload all of the parts of that process that the body doesn't need. So holding your index finger can be a really powerful experience. The level of tissue that the index finger helps is our muscles. So if you have muscle pain anywhere in the body, you can simply hold either index finger and you'll begin to feel that tension dissolve. One of the neat things is that each of these organs has a circulation pattern in the body. The bladder flow clears from the head, down the back, through the hips, down the back of the legs, behind the knees, through the outer ankle, ending in the little toe. So it literally clears everything in its path from our head to our toes. The kidney flow begins in the little toe, comes up the inside of the leg, crosses at the pubic bone and sacrum area, and goes up the opposite side really close to the spine. So between the bladder and kidney flow, they clears from head to toe and toe to head, and they wash the body and clear the spine. They unload the back. So if you have any back problems anywhere, back tension of any kind, you can hold either index finger. And so let me just take a check of the time. I just want to make sure we may run just a few minutes over today because we got started a little late and we're learning all of our new technology. So the middle finger helps us with the attitude of anger, frustration. We say deep hidden resentment, pissed off stucks, those things that really make us angry. So we can all identify, we've all experienced what it feels like to be angry. So this middle finger also helps the liver function energy and the gallbladder function energy. And Mary Burmeister used to say, the middle finger is the one thing that the Western world got right. We always say, don't flip it, grip it. So anytime you're feeling angry, if you go and hold your middle finger, you'll begin to exhale and feel some of that tension and that boiling tension in the body begin to dissolve. But you may feel a strong pulsation through your middle finger if you hold it while you're angry. So the middle finger, as I was saying earlier, as we were coming into the room, helps our blood essence. The level of tissue that it helps is the blood. So the physical blood, the essence of the blood, it just helps to harmonize any project with the blood. The middle finger also helps all eye projects. The liver flow goes directly through the center of the eye. So vision, dry eyes, itchy eyes, sty in the eye, pink eye, broken blood vessel in the eye. It doesn't matter. Any eye project of any kind we can harmonize by holding either middle finger. The ring finger helps our sadness and grief. So we talk about the lungs and the large intestine associated with this ring finger. So the ring finger helps our deep skin. So everything below the skin surface, the fascia. The lungs, of course, help our respiration. So it's our connection to the breath. We can simply hold either ring finger, or for any projects of breathing, we can make a circle with the thumb over the ring fingernail. You know, in my experience, when people are going through the process of grief, it's not uncommon that they develop lung projects, asthma, allergies, pneumonia, even deeper labels like COPD. I think that's a part of the way we grieve. I also often see that people begin to have deep colon, deep digestive projects, things in the bowels, everything from irritable bowel, diverticulitis, labels like Crohn's disease. So sometimes this is the way that our body processes and deals with grief, is through this lung and large intestine function energy. And one of the reasons why it's so important for us to hold our fingers to harmonize these attitudes is because the attitudes are food for disease. Our attitudes are one of the things that disharmonize the body and make us sick and make us more prone to accident, injury, trauma, illness. So holding our fingers, it gives us the opportunity to feel the sensation of the emotion of all of these attitudes but it gives us a healthy way to harmonize ourselves as we go through the process. And there is a grieving process. So it allows us to grieve without making ourselves sick and eating ourselves up inside, because we have a positive way that we can harmonize as we're going through this process of grief. So the ring fingers are really powerful, particularly for any project where we have challenges breathing. So the little finger, our trying to pretense, and we naturally see people when they're trying too hard at the party, drinking their glass of wine or drinking their cup of tea with their little finger out. Sometimes people even have a crooked little finger. You know, it's talking about all of our efforting in life, how hard we're trying. And really, all that we need to be is our breath essence, our vitality, our vim, our vigor for life. And as we know, our heart, our physical heart, is what we use for vitality and circulation and good health, our heart. Our heart also has an emotional aspect, so we can talk about the physical heart and the physical projects that can burden our heart. And also we can talk about the things, the emotional things that burden the heart, that weigh heavily on the chest. So our physical heart and our small intestine, which helps us to sort things out, can all be harmonized through holding the little finger. The little finger helps our skeletal system. So any project of any kind with the bones in the body, the things that are bone deep. So the little finger helps to harmonize the heart and small intestine. The level of tissue is the bone. The little fingers also help a sore throat. That circulation pattern of the small intestine flow helps to relieve a sore throat. So when we wake up in the morning with that scratchy, itchy, sore, tight throat, maybe we feel like we're coming down with something, the little finger is really powerful for helping to turn that around. The little finger also helps when we have those stuffy airplane ears, when we feel like they need to pop on the airplane. You might try holding either little finger. And finally, all of these energies in the hand come together in the center of the palm. We call this the umbilicus and the diaphragm function energy. And yes, we do have a physical diaphragm at the waistline of the body, but here we're talking about more about an energetic envelope or a blueprint for the body. We're talking about energy, the breath of life. And so anytime that we feel fatigue anywhere in the body, or just fatigue overall in general, we can hold however it's comfortable for us to connect with the centers of the palm. And naturally, it's built in when we place our hands in prayer or in a meditative position. We're energizing ourselves. And we see often children who come into the world with labels like Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. Sometimes they have clenched fists, and it's amazing that they're always connecting to source because they need that source energy to keep their body vital. So we can really begin to see how we have the whole world in our hands. And the amazing thing, when we hold each finger, we harmonize 14,400 different functions. So I've rattled off 4 or 5 things that hold, each finger will help, but my mind can't even fathom 14,400 things that are being harmonized simply because I hold my thumb or any of my fingers. So when we take 2 or 3 minutes a day to hold each finger on one hand, we've helped to harmonize 72,000 functions in the body. And when we've held both hands, 144,000 different functions can harmonize every time we hold our hands. So if we need the regenerative and restorative power in the body for the cells, for the organs, for the tissues, for our mental, emotional, or spiritual well-being, all we have to do is exhale, inhale, and hold the fingers. So I'd like for us to experience a 36 breath meditation. And another time, we'll talk a little bit more about why the number 36. But 36 breaks up into 4 groups of 9 deep breaths. So anytime that you'd like to experience the 36 breaths, you can do them all at one time, or you can do them throughout the day. Today, we're going to practice them while we hold our fingers. I'm just going to sit down, and I'd like to invite you to get comfortable. You're welcome to stay in front of your screen. You're welcome to move away from the screen. You're welcome to lay down, sit in a chair. Wherever you're going to be most comfortable is where I'd like to invite you to be today. So I'm going to begin with the fingers of my right hand, but please feel free to begin right or left. Sometimes we're just intuitively drawn to one side of the body or the other. I'm going to begin with the thumb on my right hand, and I'm just going to rest my hand in my lap. But as we move through each finger, I'll be sure to hold it up, so if anybody loses track of where we are, you can see where we are. Really, nothing is important except for you and connecting to yourself today. So I give you permission to adapt anything that I'm saying or sharing to your own comfort, or if you feel drawn to staying longer on one finger when we move ahead, I want you to adapt our finger and breath meditation today to you. I want you to be your own testimony and really experience what you need in this moment, in this breath. So I'd like to invite everyone to hold the thumb on the right hand. And just for a moment, I'd like for us to settle ourselves as we begin our meditation today. And remember, everything is an invitation. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes, to bow or rest the head, and be the dropping of the shoulders. Mary says, be the smile. SMILE can be an acronym for See Miracles in Life Every Day. Allow yourself to begin to feel rooted into your seat and into your feet, and connected and nurtured by the earth. Every time we exhale, we get to unload all of our dirt, our dust, our greasy grime. And with every inhaling breath, we receive, we renew, we revitalize, we recharge our rundown energy battery. So just for a moment, bring your awareness to all of those places in the body where maybe you feel tension, discomfort, or pain. And just notice them with your awareness. We don't have to judge. We don't always have to understand the why. We just allow the breath to become aware of where we're holding tension in the body, so that through the breath we can release that tension. So with each exhaling breath, we get to let go of all the things that we no longer need. And then with each inhaling breath, we regenerate the body, mind, and spirit. So as we hold our right thumb, we know that it helps to dissolve the attitude of worry. Mary Burmeister used to say, worry is like paying interest on a debt that was never owed. So let us begin by simply receiving together 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths that allow us to dissolve our worries and replace our worries with the wonder that life has to offer us. Whenever you're ready and at your own pace, I'm going to move to the index finger now in my right hand. Our index finger helps us to dissolve our fears. Mary calls this false evidence appearing real. So just for a moment, let us allow ourselves to have 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths to dissolve our fears and restore our body to a place of flow, flowing lovingly, openly, and willingly. And now, whenever you're ready, we can simply come to the middle finger of the right hand. The middle finger helps us with the attitude of anger or frustration. The Dalai Lama says when we pick up a hot coal to throw it at someone else, I'm the only person who gets burned. So with this next 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths, let me dissolve all feelings of anger and come back to a place of acceptance. Acceptance for the things that I cannot change, and trusting and understanding and knowing that things unfold as they do. And now, whenever you're ready, we're going to move to the ring finger of the right hand. Remember, it's okay to breathe at your own pace and adapt this meditation to whatever feels right to you in the moment. The ring finger helps us with our feelings of sadness and grief. Mary said sorrows are so powerful that they know how to swim. So when we feel like we're swimming in sorrow and overwhelmed with grief, we can find comfort in our ring finger. So with these next 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths, allow me to dissolve all feelings of sadness and return to a place of peace and serenity. And now, whenever you're ready, you can move to the little finger of the right hand. The energy in the little finger, it helps all of our trying to's, all of our woulda, shoulda, couldas. Mary says when we have 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, we don't have a leg to stand on. She reminds us that we're not human doings or human goalings, human strivings, or trying to's. We're human beings, and she would use the word be as an acronym for breath essence. So with these next 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths, let us restore our breath essence and connect to the who I am as I dissolve all feelings of trying too hard and come back to a place of trust and knowing in the breath that I am. And now, whenever you're ready, we're going to move to the left hand, beginning with the thumb. The thumb helps to support the proper circulation of our stomach and our spleen function energy, revitalizing our digestive balance, our assimilation, our central nervous system, and our immune system. The thumb harmonizes all of the major junctions of the spine. C1, cervical vertebra number 1, where cervical vertebra number 7 becomes thoracic 1, where thoracic 1 becomes thoracic 12, and thoracic 12 becomes sacrum 1, and where the sacrum becomes the coccyx. The entire spine can be harmonized by holding the thumb. So with these next 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths, let my leader of the parade restore all of the functions of my body back to a place of health, harmony, and happiness. Now I can hold the index finger of the left hand, helping to harmonize the functioning of my bladder and kidney function energy, to clean and clear my body from head to toe and toe to head, and relax all muscle tension in the body. So with these next 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths, I'm going to return from a place of fear to fun, fulfillment, understanding, and know-thing. And now moving to the middle finger of the left hand, we're supporting the healthy functioning of our liver, of our gallbladder function energy. We're helping to restore the health and vitality of our blood and our blood essence. Our middle fingers are our general daily harmonizers. They help with all familiar complaints. So anytime you feel sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're angry with yourself and everyone out there, simply allow those feelings to dissolve by holding your middle finger. So let us now have 3 exhaling and inhaling breaths to allow the blood flowing through our total being to come back into a place of harmony. And then whenever you're ready, you can move to the left ring finger, helping the circulation of your lung and large intestine function energy, helping projects in the deep tissue and fascia of the body, helping to restore health and harmony through peace and serenity. So with these next 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths, let me unload all my sadness and dissolve any place that's hardened in my body, mind, or spirit. And let me inhale and receive the breath of life to restore the vitality to every cell of my being, body, mind, and spirit. Now we can hold the little finger of the left hand, helping our heart and our small intestine function energy, helping the bones and anything that's buried bone deep, so that our whole skeletal system can be restored through the breath of life. With these next 3 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths, allow my heart to open so that I can live my true heart's path. And now I'd like for you to connect with the center of your palms. So you can place the palms in prayer or place the fingertips into the center of the palms, touching and connecting with the center of the palms in any way that's comfortable for you. So let us connect now to harmony, to health, to happiness. Let us be restored through the light and breath of life as we complete our remaining 6 conscious exhaling and inhaling breaths. So before you open the eyes, I just want to invite you to relax the hands and just kind of check in with your body again. Are you still carrying the same tension as you were before we began? Just notice and be aware of the spaces and places where you can still have the opportunity to let go. Do you feel more balanced, centered, grounded, calm? Simply say thank you to yourself for receiving this opportunity to come back to a place of harmony. And whenever you're ready, you can simply open the eyes.